Attorney General William Barr is playing dumb about voter fraud in order to help Donald Trump. Take a look.
It sounds like he's encouraging people to break the law and try to vote twice.
Well, I don't know exactly what he was saying, but it seems to me what he's saying is he's trying to make the point that the ability to monitor this system is not good. And if it was so good, if you tried to vote a second time, you would be caught if you voted in person.
That would be illegal if they did that. If somebody mailed in a ballot and then actually showed up to vote in person, that would be illegal.
I don't know what the law in the particular state says.
You can't vote twice.
Well, I don't know what the law in the particular state says and when that vote becomes final.
Is there any state that says you can vote twice?
Well, there's some, maybe that you can change your vote up to a particular time. I don't know what the law is, so I'm not going to offer.
He was saying test the system.
If you know what he's saying, why are you asking me what he's saying?
He doesn't believe in the mail-in voting. You're the Attorney General of the United States.
Why did you? Yeah.
All right, so look how dismissive he was in that entire thing. Well, man, if you already know, why are you asking me? Because you're the Attorney General of the United States. I mean, you should know the answer. You should know whether or not it is illegal for you to vote twice. And it is. Guess what? It is illegal. You can't do that. Doesn't matter the state. In North Carolina, they don't have laws where you say, well, I guess you can maybe vote twice. That's a pretty simple answer. But as you noticed, he can't answer it because he can't answer it. That would mean going against Donald Trump. And so, again, this comes from Donald Trump in North Carolina, basically encouraging people to vote twice to, quote unquote, test the system. Test the system, right? Do we got to test the system? If it's good, then it will catch it. Well, okay, but if it doesn't catch it, oh, look, extra votes going to Donald Trump. Weird. But if they do catch them, which is far more likely as voter fraud is actually incredibly rare, and there are protections built into the system, well, then, hey, you told people to do it. And since you did, there's going to be even more scrutiny, right, of these votes. Well, then they're going to get caught and you're going to end up having to prosecute your own supporters for voter fraud, which is ironic. Or, of course, you can just be like, pardon, you're all pardoned. I can do that. Oh, okay, great. That's fun. So, look, do I think he's willing to sacrifice his own supporters to make a point? Yep. And I'm pretty sure some of those supporters would be happy to go to prison for Donald Trump. Because, it is. As long as it means that they can do harsher voter ID laws. I mean, look, the whole purpose, of course, when it comes to Republicans is to make voting harder so that you have lower turnout and Republicans win more. That's the whole point. And, of course, it coincides with Donald Trump's desire to win. Well, of course, you want to win, right? But he wants to win using whatever means possible. Okay, whatever means necessary, he will use in order to win the election. Cheat, right? As for, of course, William Barr, he's a simp. He's a lackey for the administration. He's got one job, help Donald Trump, because it helps him stay in power. He's the top cop in the nation. Okay, and that's a lot of power in his hands. And people want to use and keep that power. Okay, so now, as Pramila Jayapal points out, she's a progressive from Washington. She says, Barr once again made clear today that he is not serving as the Attorney General for the American people. He's serving as the personal henchman for Donald Trump. Now, we're the Republicans, right? Where are the Republicans on this? Well, they're going to go along with it. Why? Because, well, that's always been their position. I mean, they don't want black people. They don't want poor people. They don't want students. And they don't want people who are not Republican to vote. And they admitted it. They've said it so many times out in the open. Look, I go back to the 80s, Paul Weyrich, right? Godfather of the modern conservative movement. He said, we don't want everybody to vote. Our leverage in the elections, quite candidly, goes up as the voting populace goes down. And that's why he says we don't want people to vote. We want less people to vote. And so that's why they suppress. That's why they gerrymander. That's why they push voter ID. They rail against mail-in ballots, which, by the way, some states have done for decades with very little fraud. And they do everything to depress turnout because they can't win when more people vote. But look, even though that has been the Republican position for a long time, I've never seen a president go out and openly tell his followers in the state to vote twice. I know. No, just it's to test the system. I got to test the system, right? Sure, that's exactly what you're saying. No. I've seen Republicans attempt to rig the votes, of course, but never so openly and brazenly as the Attorney General, and yet he's going to play dumb. And this is a corrupt administration. If we were a small country in the Middle East right now, and we were sitting on a bunch of oil, we'd be in the process of being liberated by ourselves because of the very clear corruption in our government that they could use as an excuse. Now, I guess thankfully we're not in that situation. So we still have the option of being able to vote out that corruption as much as we can. Obviously, I'm no fan of Joe Biden. I think we're going to vote out one type of corruption for a different type of corruption. But it's at least a little bit less and a lot less open. And we can fight it better, I believe, in a Biden administration than we can with Donald Trump, who doesn't all seem swayed by public pressure.